to everyone once again in one of our halaqat in which we discuss the matters of the Sharia in accordance with the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and that which the Salaf al-Salih, Ahlussunnah wal Jama'ah of this Ummah were upon. One of the topics that we were asked to discuss and to deal with is the issue of bid'ah, the issue of innovation. And as you know, this is something that is very serious in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he warned against it severely. You know, that he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in his khutbah, in his lectures, in his sermons, he would warn against newly introduced things. Anything that was introduced into the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So this shows us the severity of bid'ah. It is so severe that even though there is no bid'ah in his time, and bid'ah cannot exist in his time, but he used to warn about it all the time. You know? And we know from his khutbah al-Hajah that he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he used to say that inna khayra al-kalami kalamullah ta'ala, that the best of speech is the speech of Allah the Most High, wa khayra al-hadi hadi Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the best of guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, wa sharra al-umur, and the worst of things are the novelties, the newly introduced things. Muhdathatin bid'ah, and every newly introduced thing is a bid'ah, is a religious innovation. وَكُلَّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ, and every religious innovation or heresy is misguidance. وَكُلَّ ضَلَالَةٍ فِي النَّارِ, and every misguidance is in the hellfire. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, due to the danger of innovation in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he used to warn about it constantly, even though it never occurred in his lifetime. Right? A great error that is made by people nowadays, those who try to justify, promote bid'ah, is when they turn to Sahaba and say that, look, a Sahabi did bid'ah in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he approved it. And we say, subhanallah, this is clear ignorance, because what was done in his time and he approved it, it becomes a sunnah. Because the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the zaman al-tashri', or the waqt al-tashri', is the time of legislation. In the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he would approve of things, and what he approves of becomes a sunnah taqreeriyah. This is known. You know, even the beginning students of deen, they know the types of sunnah, but from it is sunnatul taqreeriyah, a sunnah of approval. So when they give the example, we make an example that they give, as we hear in some of the masajid, they say, so he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when the Sahabi said, after the year, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Sami Allah liman hamida, Rabbana wa laka alhamd, the Sahabi said, Hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fi. He says, so look, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't say it, the Sahabi said it. And then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, who said it? He said, I said it. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told him that so many angels completed to take this. You know, there's great praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he tries to use this as an example of bid'ah in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There's no bid'ah. He approved it sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It became a sunnah taqreeriyah. You know, and there's other examples like this that they make from the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And this in reality, it is ignorance, because even like I said, the beginning student knows that what Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam approved of is a sunnah taqreeriyah, it can never be a bid'ah. Then some, subhanallah, they cannot define bid'ah. They cannot define bid'ah. And so, a recent clip that I saw, titled, What is Bid'ah? And he says, what is bid'ah? We need to look at the meanings of the scholars of the past. And throughout this whole clip, he never gives a definition of bid'ah. You know, but he starts with what is bid'ah, but he never gives a definition. Nor from the scholars of the past, nor from the scholars of present. So, inshallah ta'ala, for everyone to benefit, bid'ah, firstly in the lugha. And when we deal with the words, we know that the words in Arabic, it has a lugha meaning, a meaning that is applied in the language generally, has a more specific shara'i meaning, legislative meaning, right in the Sharia. Bid'ah in the lugha, it refers to anything newly introduced. ما أحدث على غير مثال سابق. Whatever is introduced with no prior example for it. It's a bid'ah, you know. So the word, in this sense, it encompasses anything. Linguistically, encompasses any newly introduced thing. Whether in the deen, whether in the dunya, whether good, whether bad, it doesn't differentiate. This is the word in the language, in the linguistic sense. As for bid'ah in the Sharia, then it is, some of the ulama has mentioned from it, and there's different, Shaykh Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala, for example, he says, it is that we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with other than what Allah has legislated. يعني أن نعبد الله على ما غير ما شرعه الله. We worship Allah upon other than what Allah شرعه, legislated. So he says, where does this ta'leel then come from? أَمْ لَهُمْ شُرَكَاء شَرَعُوا لَهُم مِّنَ الدِّينِ مَا لَمْ يَأْذَنْ بِهِ اللَّهُ. Or do they have partners who legislate for them of the deen what Allah did not permit? So when we worship Allah with something that Allah did not legislate, and who legislated it for us? Right? So this is one of the examples in the Shar'i definition of bid'ah. A more comprehensive definition is that it is a tariqatun mukhtara'atun muhdathatun fi din. That it is a tariqa, a way which is innovated or made up in the deen, yubahi ash-shar'iyya or tubahi ash-shar'iyya, which assimilates or which resembles the Sharia tariqa. Right? It resembles the Sharia tariqa. And then we may add to this in the Shari definition that it is ولا دليل يدل عليه في أصل, and there is no dalil that indicates it in its asl or في وصف, or in its wasf, in its description. So now you have a newly introduced thing that it is introduced by someone, it assimilates the Sharia. So people think it is Sharia because it assimilates the Sharia, right? But it has no dalil for it, and in its asl, in its essence, or in its wasf, in its description. So this definition, it will then set the limits for what is considered bid'ah. In the Sharia, whatever people introduce, right, which is not from Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, right, because it does not have a dalil in its essence. So there is no proof for it anywhere in the deen. I'll give you an example. I say, Tayyib, we are going to run a marathon for the sake of Allah. And every Sunday, we're going to run around the masjid 20 rounds, right? Lillahi ta'ala. It's a bid'ah. It's not legislated for us to run around the masjid. There's no asl for this anywhere in the Quran and the Sunnah. So from its essence, from its inception, right, it's bid'ah. Right? So it's rejected. We're going to come to that part now, inshallah ta'ala, about its ruling. When we say, oh, it has no dalil for it in its wasf, in its description, which means it may have a dalil for its essence, for its origin. And this is what many of the people of bid'ah, what they confuse the masses with. So they bring the essence of something and they say there is a proof in the Sharia for it, but they don't bring the proof for its wasf, for its description. Right? Give you an example of this. They say, like salawat. How can salawat be a bid'ah? We say salawat is not a tariqatul mukhtara'atul muhdathatul. It is not something new that is introduced. We were commanded with salawat in the Quran. We were commanded with salawat by Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So there's a dalil for it. Right? So we make all salawat. We all agree. There's dalil for salawat, we must make salawat. Salih says, Allahumma salli wa salli wa barik ala Nabina Muhammad 100 times a day. No problem. Right? I say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim 100 times a day. Right? I make salawat as much as I can. No stipulation. You know? Then someone comes and he says, no, we make salawat like this. We make salawat like this. Right? And he writes for us a salawat. Right? He writes for us a salawat. And it is done jama'i, in chorus, ala watiratin wahida, in one tune. Right? We do it jama'i, ala watira, upon a tune, all together, in chorus. Right? Now we say, tayyib, there's dalil for salawat in its essence. Right? In its fundamentally, there's dalil, there's no salawat. Where is your dalil for this wasf? Where is your dalil for this sifa, for this description of salawat? When did Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam make salawat like this? When did Sahaba make salawat like this? Where's the dalil for it? Now he does not have dalil for that description of the salawat. It is bid'ah. So now we're not saying the salawat is bid'ah. We're saying your ashrakal is bid'ah. We're not saying the salawat is bid'ah. We're saying your hadra is bid'ah. You see, they confuse the people with this. You know, we're not saying salawat is bid'ah. We're saying your salam is bid'ah. Because salawat is established in the Sharia. Right? Salawat is established in the Sharia. So this is something, when we know the definition of bid'ah, that it is a new way introduced into the deen that resembles the Sharia, but it has no dalil either in its essence or in its description. Right? Either in its asl or in its wasf. So then we can identify bid'ah. Right? The next issue, if we know what is bid'ah, right? We know what is bid'ah and we can identify bid'ah, then we have to now look at these two things. Al-asl wa sifah. Fundamental and the sifah. With regards to this, bid'ah is of two types. So you know this, bid'ah is of two types, right? When there's no dalil for the bid'ah in its essence, like I said, the people want to run around the masjid to make ibadah. So like, you know, when it's going to happen now, Muharram time, we're going to take a effigy of the qabr, a mini model of the qabr of Hussein, and they're going to carry it on their shoulders, and they're going to run around Habibiyah. They're going to walk around there and call Ya Hussein, and sing songs. Right? There is no asl for this in Quran and Sunnah. No essence for it whatsoever. Right? So this is a bid'atun asliyah or bid'atun haqiqiyah. This is a bid'ah in essence. A bid'ah in totality. You don't have to look at anything else. You don't have to tell me what's your intention for running around the masjid, and I don't need to know anything else. There's no dalil for this in essence. This is a bid'ah from the word go. Right? From the word go, it is a bid'ah. So this is a bid'atun asliyah or a bid'atun haqiqiyah. Right? We call it a bid'ah or a bid'ah in origin. There is no origin in Quran and Sunnah. Another example of this, also going to happen now in Muharram. While those people at Habibiyah are going to go around the masjid there with that small model cover there, the other people further down in Artillery are going to be beating themselves. They're going to hit themselves with blades and chains. Ya Hussein, and beat themselves with the blood from the Shia. This, there is no dalil for it in the Sharia, right? As an act of ibadah. There is no dalil for it. There's dalil it is haram, yes. There's dalil that it is haram. So you're taking it as an act of worship. Right? So this in essence from the word goes bid'ah. From the word goes bid'ah. Nowhere did Allah tell us to go beat ourselves on the 10th of Muharram. Right? And nowhere did Allah tell us to run around the masjid with fake graves. Right? So this bid'ah asliyah. Then the second one is called, when we see a wasf or a sifa, you see the description of the action is not found in the Sharia, but the asl is found in the Sharia. Right? Make an example, once again we mention salawat. Right? Make another example that they like to mention, dhikr. Dhikr, we all agree. Allah commanded us with dhikr. اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا وسبحوا بكرة وأصيلا. Remember Allah with abundant remembrance. Imagine, remember Allah with abundant remembrance. So we strive to remember Allah. So now we all agree, dhikr is legislated. There is proof for dhikr. But now we see you guys come together every Tuesday and you have your little bookies in which your dhikr is written and you sing this dhikr. You have your own tunes. And then some of you have the drums also. Right? You have the drums. And you sing this dhikr. And this one, he's got his dhikr that Fulan wrote, Burdatul Busayri. He's got the Burda. Right? That is his dhikr. And the other one, he's got the Ratibu Attas. Right? He's got Attas' Ratib. He's literally that he wrote. The other ones, they have Ratibul Haddad. There's the litany that Haddad wrote, right? And the other one has the Riwayatul Barzanji, has the stories that Barzanji wrote. And they all come together and they sing and they beat the drums and they go in. You say, where did you get this way of dhikr from? You know you must make dhikr, but this that you're doing, where did you get this style, this sifa, you know? There's no asl for it in the Quran, there's no asl for it in the Sunnah. It is a bid'atun idafiyah. It's a bid'atun idafiyah. It is bid'ah due to what you have attached to it. So dhikr is not a bid'ah, your khadat is a bid'ah. Dhikr is not a bid'ah, your riwayat is a bid'ah. Right? Dhikr is not the bid'ah, your burdatul busayri is a bid'ah. Your beating of tamarins and your dancing in circles, this is bid'ah. Because there's no description like this from Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or the Sahaba or those who followed him in righteousness. So this is a bid'atul idafiyah. This is a bid'ah, not in its essence because dhikr is commanded, but it is a bid'ah due to what we have added. It's a bid'ah due to what we have added to it. Right? So that is with regards to the bid'ah being asliyah or far'iyah or idafiyah. Asliyah haqiqiyah, in essence, right, from the origin. Far'iyah, branching, right, or idafiyah, what is attached. And due to what you have attached and branched to the act of dhikr, it becomes a bid'ah that you're doing. Right? But in essence, dhikr is not a bid'ah. Right? So unfortunately, these people who want to speak about bid'ah, they don't know this. Why they don't know this? When they speak about it, number one, you say what is bid'ah, you can't define it. Imagine you want to speak about bid'ah, but you can't give a definition of what bid'ah is. You say, oh no, we hear bid'ah is in the fire. This is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This what you're hearing is not people's speech. It's not the speech of any Tambitinayari. This is the speech of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know? So the fact that you don't know the language of the Sharia means you shouldn't speak about the Sharia. Imagine a person who doesn't know the lugha of the Sharia. He doesn't know the language of the Sharia. But he wants to speak about the matters of Sharia. It's better for this person to keep quiet. You know, the ignorant person, he mustn't speak. He must ask and he must learn. You see that they put themselves forward to speak on social media and all these things, and they don't have the knowledge to speak about these matters. So these things, when they mention salawat and they mention dhikr, and they say it is bid'ah, this is because we understand the definition of bid'ah and we know where these practices of worship fit in. We are able to put it where it belongs. Right. Then, with regards to the person practicing the bid'ah, the effect on him and the ruling that bid'ah takes is a different category, that and different bracket that must be discussed. So now we spoke about the bid'ah in itself. The bid'ah is asliya, or the bid'ah is far'iyya, it is haqiqiyya, or it is idafiyya, right? And then, with regards to the one practicing the bid'ah, this is also another case, right? The bid'ah that he is practicing, what is the ruling upon him due to this bid'ah? He says that the bid'ah is of two types in this regard, and that is bid'atun mukaffira, bid'atun mufassiqa. Bid'atun mukaffira is when your bid'ah is kufr. You have introduced something into the deen of Allah Ta'ala that in reality it is disbelief. You have introduced something, yes, it's a bid'ah, but that bid'ah which you introduced is disbelief, it is kufr, or it is shirkun akbar, major shirk. Right? So that is a bid'atun mukaffira. That's a bid'ah that of disbelief. Bid'ah of disbelief. So mukaffira, it makes it applies the ruling of disbelief to the doer. Right? It applies the ruling, it brings about the ruling of kufr on the one doing it. He is doing an act of kufr. No longer merely an act of bid'ah, it is an act of kufr. The bid'ah is mukaffira. An example of this, we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to call on Him alone. وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. All the masajid belongs to Allah. Places of worship belong to Allah. فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ. So do not invoke along with Allah أَحَدًا, anyone. Do not invoke anyone along with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And there's many ayat, we know the ruling of calling on other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a bid'ah without doubt. Right? Because Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not call on other than Allah, and Sahaba never call on other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this was introduced later. Somebody innovated into the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it was the Shia who were first and foremost in innovating this particular thing, calling other than Allah, calling on Ahlul Bayt, calling on Hussein, calling on Fatima, calling on Ali. This bid'ah they introduced into the deen. Right? And this is a bid'ah to mukaffira. This is a bid'ah of kufr. That you are making shirk akbar, major shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, calling on other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then this is the major. There's many aspects of it. There's many manifestations or types of bid'ah which is mukaffira, which takes you out of the fold of Islam. Right? Then there is a lesser degree. The person makes bid'ah, he has an act of bid'ah that he does, but it contains no shirk or kufr. Right? He was taught to make dhikr a certain way, and all the years he's been making it like that, without knowledge, he's just been carrying on. Right? So none of that dhikr that he is making contains shirk or kufr. Right? He's making example, he's making salawat. But he's doing it in chorus and he's singing it. Right? It is a bid'ah. But it is not mukaffira. It's not mukaffira. Because it is a bid'ah, it is disobedience to Allah, disobedience to the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it is mufassiqah. It is sinful. It is sinful. It is fisq. It is fisq. It is sin. Transgression. So this bid'ah renders him sinful. Just imagine. He's thinking he's doing an act of what? Of ibadah, and he's sinning. He's disobeying Allah. He's disobeying Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So all the bid'ah which is not mukaffirah is mufassiqah. Is sinful. And this is why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, كل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. All bid'ah is misguidance, and all misguidance is in the fire. And he didn't make any distinction. Didn't make any distinction. Because whether it is mukaffirah or whether it is mufassiqah, the end of it is you disobeying Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And therefore, it is punished by hellfire. This is not the words of the ulama of Saudi, or the ulama of Yemen, or the ulama of Egypt. This is the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And not only is he committing a sin, all that effort and all that action is a waste of whoever introduces into this affair, this deen of ours, that is not from it, it is rejected. It is rejected. Now then when the now the teachers teach you مردود على صاحبه فهو رد. It is رد مردود على صاحبه, rejected from the one who does it. Rejected. Allah Ta'ala does not accept it. It's rejected. The hadith of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha in Bukhari Muslim. And then in the, like they say today, a common rhetoric and a common response that some people think, you know what, we have an answer for it. You say to them, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whoever introduces into this affair of ours that is not from it, it is rejected. They say, we didn't introduce it. We didn't introduce it. We found our forefathers doing it. Yeah? We found our parents doing it. We were taught to do it. We never introduced it. So look at the other wording in Sahih Muslim from Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. Man amila amalan laysa alayhi amruna fahuwa rad. Whoever does any action not in conformity with this affair of ours, it is rejected. You didn't have to introduce it. If you do it, it is still rejected. Right? It is still rejected. Doesn't matter if your forefathers introduced it and you are still doing it, it is rad. It is rejected from you. Imagine your whole life you are wasting your time with something that is bid'ah, something that was introduced into the deen, something that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not do, and at the end of the day, it is rejected. You have wasted all that time. SubhanAllah, Allah save us. Imagine people following for decades these innovated actions, years upon years, where they could have really benefited, could have worshipped Allah with actions that will raise their darajat. And they're acting upon this bid'ah, and it is rejected from you.
Sheikh, can you give us example of what is legislated in the
Dhikrullah subhanallah, especially with dhikr is so important. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, as I mentioned earlier, commanded us, Udhkurullaha dhikran kathiran. Remember Allah with abundant dhikr. Right? There is no one in this ummah, no one, ever, after the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who could remember Allah like he remembered Allah. No one. Your sheikh, your imam, your peer, your murshid, your buzurg, no one remembers Allah better and more than our Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha said, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يذكر الله على كل من أحواله. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would remember Allah in all conditions. All conditions would remember Allah ta'ala. Look at the hadith of the two angels that came. Two angels that came, and the one angel said, he is sleeping. And the other angel said, no, the eyes sleep, but the heart is awake. Heart is awake. You know, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all conditions. What did he teach us? To remember Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala like he remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what we say to people. To follow the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you will be from those who remember Allah abundantly. Imagine. When you not even wake up in the morning, when you stir at night, you're going to come to the morning. When you stir at night, you stir, you know, you're not sleeping until you turn. What do you do? Remember Allah, la ilaha illallah, wa la sharika la, la mulk wa la hamd wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us the dhikr to say when you stir at night. Imagine. I turn around at night, there's a dhikr I must say. You learn the sunnah, you're going to learn the dhikr. You're going to be of those who remember Allah even when you stir at night. When you get up, imagine you get up from your sleep to pray. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us the person who praises Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he wakes up. You know, Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'dana amad. Alhamdulillah alladhi, praise be to him who gave us life after, causing us by meaning that he woke us up. We only have power of waking up. Not one, there's more than one. Then to read the ayat, inna fi khalqi samawati wal ard, to recite these verses. You know, his Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would get up and recite before making the night prayer. He's going to pray his night prayer. He's going to make his adhkar. You know, he's done with his night prayer, subbuh and quddus, you know. This adhkar. When he goes back to sleep, he's going to say his adhkar for going back to sleep. He's going to wake up in the morning, he's going to say his adhkar for waking up. Dhikr. When he gets dressed, his adhkar. When he goes to the bathroom, there's adhkar. When he comes out of the bathroom, there's adhkar. After wudu, there's adhkar. When he leaves the house, there's adhkar. When he eats his breakfast, there's adhkar. If he follows the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he would be remembering Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala day and night. Day and night. Without any innovation. Without any innovation. Without any action that goes against the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But you look at the same person who says, no, the person of dhikr every Thursday night. If you look at his life, look at him during the day, look at whether he's making his adhkar, look at some of these big Sufi leaders. Many of the du'at of Ahlussunnah today, they are exposing him. They say, look at this person, he's speaking about Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for 10 minutes straight, he didn't once say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ahlussunnah wal Jama'ah, they say the name of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Imagine, this is the people of dhikr. People who are remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constantly throughout their day and throughout their night in every action that they do. Sitting after Fajr, remembering Allah until after the sun rises, praying duha, praying the nawafil salah. You can continue and continue and continue. Normally what I encourage people to do is to get what? Hisnul Muslim. Get the Hisnul Muslim small book. What we call it? Photos of the believer. All the adhkar of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all his du'as that you say during the day and night. Something like this. Everything you do, there is a dhikr, there is a du'a, there is a remembrance. This is what we are commanded with. Not getting together once a week, beating drums, singing songs. This is just soothing the nafs. This is just people that want to fulfill their nafs. And they say, oh, you feel so nice. Of course you're going to feel nice. You're beating drums and singing in tune, following the beat. So this is not because you have elevated yourself spiritually. This is because your nafs is feel lekker. You know? So, dhikr, the person needs to learn and needs to follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The other issue, last issue, هل توجد بدعة حسنة في الإسلام? Is there a good bid'ah in Islam? Is there a good bid'ah in Islam? Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, right, is al-muballigh an Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. He is the one who is conveying to us from who? From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This we must remember. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the one who conveys to us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, فَإِنَّ كُلَّ مُحْدَثَةٍ بِدْعَةٍ وَكُلَّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ. He said, every newly introduced thing in the deen is bid'ah, and every bid'ah is misguidance. Not Sheikh Fulan said, and Sheikh Fulan said. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, every bid'ah is misguidance. Right? Then came the Sahaba. Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum considered every bid'ah misguidance. Right? A proof of this, what Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhum said. Right? Now he's the son of Umar. Now remember, they go to the statement of Umar. They go to the statement of Umar. Right? And they say, you see, this is a good bid'ah. Right? Here's the son of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhuma. The son of Umar says, كل بدعة ضلالة وإن رآها الناس حسنة. All bid'ah is misguidance even if the people think it's good. All bid'ah is misguidance even if the people think it's good. But now your father said, when you go to people together for Tarawih, this is their proof. He said, what do you say? نعمة بدعة هذه نعمة البدعة excellent بدعة. This is. What is he speaking about? People making Salat Tarawih. Now we say, was he talking about bid'ah linguistically or shar'i? Was he speaking about it in a linguistic sense? Did he use the word as in the Arabic language, or did he refer to Sharia? You say he spoke about the language. Why? Because the Tarawih was left from the time of Rasulullah, it was left in the time of Abu Bakr, it was left in the beginning of Umar's time, until he saw the people scattered, right? And he thought it would be better to get them together. So now he brought them together like they were in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They said, what a good bid'ah is this? What was it? A revival of the sunnah that is left. So for the people, it appeared new. So like we said in the Arabic language, the word bid'ah in the language can be utilized for something which is new. Okay? Can be utilized for something that is new. So when he spoke about it, he spoke about that which was a linguistic and not in accordance with the Sharia. Right? So according to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and according to what we know from the Sahaba, there is no good bid'ah. There is no good bid'ah. Then they go to some of the Imams. And they say, you know what, in the Shafi'i madhab, especially us that we know in Cape Town, the Shafi'i madhab, they said, but look at how many of the Shafi'i scholars said there is good bid'ah. Right? They say, Ibn Hajar said bid'ahs of two types. Right? They say this, Ibn Hajar said bid'ahs of two types. Now we say bid'ahs of two types. Right? Ibn Hajar, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said bid'ahs of two types. A type which is blameworthy and a type which is not blameworthy. He said that which is blameworthy and that which is not blameworthy. And as for the language, when the people use the word bid'ah in the language, then it is for that which is blameworthy and not blameworthy. So everything new. Right? But as for the usage of the people of Sharia, then it is blameworthy. the Sharia is only blameworthy bid'ah. This is the statement of Ibn Hajar. In the Sharia there is only blameworthy bid'ah. In the linguistic terms, in the language usage of the word, if you say bid'ah, it can be that which is blameworthy, it can be that which is praiseworthy, because it's not defined to Sharia. It's not restricted to it. But when it comes to the people of the Sharia, he says when they use the word bid'ah, it is for that which is blameworthy. Because it's Sharia. It's in the deen. So what these people do is they confuse the people with regards to bid'ah in the dunya and bid'ah in the deen. This is what they do. Right? So they say, but you drive with a car to the mosque. So? This is bid'ah in the deen. You know? So they use something which is introduced in the dunya. The other one says TikTok. Says the Nabi had a TikTok account. Jahl, ignorance. This is something in the dunya. Right? This is not something in the deen. How you practice the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, wallahi, even that person, when he makes the statements, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He never read it anyway. Now we know he never read it anyway. He speaks about Qadi Shawqani. Anyone ever heard of Qadi Shawqani? Huh? He's speaking about Al-Imam Al-Shawqani, but he doesn't know his name. Doesn't know his name. Why? Because he just heard somebody else say something. So he wallahi exposes his jahl every time. Yeah. Like he heard someone say something and now he's repeating it, because he thinks it's a proof, but unfortunately he exposes his ignorance. Imam Ibn Hajar, Imam Nawawi, Imam Shafi'i, Al-Izz ibn Abdul Salam, all of them when they divided bid'ah, the good bid'ah that they were referring to is that which is dunyawi things, which is masalih al-mursala. In the Shafi'i madhab, Allah have researched this many years ago. In Shafi'i madhab, those scholars who said is good bid'ah, the things they refer to, the writing of the mushaf, the writing of the Quran in the mushaf. Right? They say things like this. They say the adhan of Uthman before the people towards the Jumu'ah, before the actual adhan of Jumu'ah. It's all masalihul mursala. It is beneficial means for the community. And it is not bid'ah in the deen. So they use the statements of these scholars and then they misquote it. And some of them, they don't know it in reality, they take it from somewhere else, like this person who spoke about bid'ah, and Allah having no knowledge of what he's speaking about, right? And then they just quote it. They say, look, what is it? Why did Qadi Shawqani say that bid'ah of two types? There's no Qadi Shawqani. He's speaking about Al-Imam Al-Qadi Shawqani. And he doesn't know that his name is Shawqani because he heard it Shawqani. So he hasn't read it. If he read it, he would have known his name. Right? If you read it in a book, called Imam Shawqani, you can see what's a kaf and what's a qaf, unless you can't read. Right? So when he says Qadi Shawqani said this, it means he never actually saw that. That's why he doesn't know the person's name that he's quoting. SubhanAllah, all of these imams, they are innocent of the claims of these people of bid'ah. Allah, they are innocent. Imam Shafi'i, SubhanAllah, Imam Shafi'i was stern and harsh against the people of bid'ah. And you can see it even from his students. And you can see it from Imam Ahmad, who was one of his students. SubhanAllah, when the person comes to them and says, but tell the people what they mentioned. Tell the people the full story. Don't take a piece, and then deceive the ummah with that piece. Allah, these are people, when they are calling you to bid'ah, what did Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say? There will be du'at ala abwabi jahannam. Man ajabahum qadhafu fiha. There will be callers to the gates of the hellfire. There will be callers to the gates of the hellfire. Whoever answers them, whoever responds to them, they will throw in the hellfire. Now if bid'ah, like Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, كل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. So if bid'ah is in the fire and he is calling you to the bid'ah, what is he calling you to? to the fire. Du'at ala abwab Jahannam, corners to the doors and the gates of the hellfire. The Muslims must beware of these people. Allah, these mutasawwifa, these Sufis, the Muslims must beware of them. All the Imams refuted them. All of the Imams rejected them. All of the Imams rejected them. Imam Malik, rahimahullah ta'ala, when the actions was described to him, what did he say? None of the people, لا يفعل ذلك أحد من أهل الإسلام. None of the people of Islam do this. He said, these are people, they come together, they beat drums, they sing and they eat, and then they dance. Imam Malik said, none of the people of Islam do this. So where does this come from? From Islam? No, it doesn't come from Islam. These are from the innovations that they introduced into Islam. You know, when Imam Shafi rahmahullah ta'ala, student of Imam Malik, when Imam Shafi rahmahullah ta'ala saw him for the first time in Iraq, he gave a fatwa. He said, خلفت بالعراق قوما من الزنادقة أو شيئا أحدثوه الزنادقة يسمونه التغبير. He said, I left behind in Iraq something which the heretics have introduced and innovated. The heretics introduced and innovated it. يسمونه التغبير. They call it تغبير. What that refers to is the beating of the drums. Referring to the beating of the drums, making the singing while beating the drums. He said, يُلْعُونَ بِهِ النَّاسَ عَنْ كِتَابِ اللَّهِ. With it, they preoccupy the people away from the book of Allah. They preoccupy the people away from the book of Allah. Allah, look at some of these people, kuffar of Quran. Huh? No more Quran comes from it. Anashid and songs and chantings of this na'at and that na'at. And subhanallah, where's your Quran? You have the greatest remembrance, the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you have, and you busy yourself with this bid'ah. You busy yourself with innovations. This is the purpose of innovation. It takes away the sunnah. It takes away the sunnah. This is why this ummah is warned against innovation. You know, in the book of Allah, and in the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in the consensus of the salaf of this ummah. In the ijma' of Ahlussunnah wal Jama'ah, there is no good bid'ah. We are warned against bid'ah and to stay away from bid'ah. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us and all the Muslims from the innovations and the people of innovations. May Allah keep us steadfast upon His book and upon the sunnah of His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله على نبينا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين.